Though there are many styles of glassware, let's talk about the ones that are most commonly used in bars and restaurants. We'll start with the shot glass. It can be any size, typically from 1 to 2 ounces for a single serving of liquor to be taken in one gulp. It's appropriate to fill the glass either to the rim or if there's a line on the glass up to the line. Next we have the rocks glass. The rocks glass can be between 4 and 6 ounces, and its uses are for a double shot of liquor served without ice, a shot of liquor served on ice, shots maybe with multiple liquors or a mixer, usually we call those shooters, gimlets, Manhattans, and martinis that are going to be on ice, or shots of whiskey or scotch that are going to be sipped instead of taking it in one gulp. And the note about this glass is to fill the glass with ice, except if you're pouring a shot of liquor served up, and pour the shot on top. It's not necessary to fill it to the rim of the glass. It should be just one shot. Now, the bucket glass is usually 10 to 12 ounces, and it's pretty common. It's similar to the highball glass, same uses, but it's shorter and wider for a bigger hand to have a good hold on. So usually the bucket glass is for what we call highballs, a single shot of liquor mixed with a non-alcoholic beverage. And you simply fill the glass with ice, pour your shot of liquor in, and then add the mixer to just below the rim. The highball glass, similar to the bucket, 10 to 12 ounces usually. That allows you to, if you're pouring an ounce and a half shot, it'll make a nice balanced cocktail, leaving enough room for the proper amount of mixer. And it's usually for your highball cocktails, which are made of one single shot of liquor and the mixer of non-alcoholic beverage. We can use the bucket or highball also for drinks that have more than one type of liquor but still only one shot of liquor, which would be an ounce and a half total. And so that's going to be, again, a well-balanced cocktail with enough liquor flavor and enough room for a mixer to make it balanced. Then we have the Collins glass, also called the chimney. It's a taller, thinner glass, usually about 10 ounces. And we can use those for the Collinses, the vodka Collins, Tom Collins, and John Collins. Also wine spritzers or wine coolers, because we're going to add ice in those. And then sodas sometimes. So you just basically fill the glass with ice and pour the drink to just below the rim. Then for the coffee mug, obviously that's going to be for our coffee drinks. So the uses are all coffees, even hot cocoa if you have cocoa, non-alcoholic teas, and then your coffee cocktails made with liquor and coffee. So like the Irish coffee, Kioki coffee, the Tennessee mud, any hot liquid, because the coffee mug will have a handle on it so you can hold the handle and you won't burn your hands. And they're usually heat tempered, so they've been designed to hold hot liquid without cracking or breaking. So the proper use for these is filled to just below the rim, and if you're going to have someone add milk, or if you want to put whipped cream on top, just leave a little room at the top to do so. Then the cordial glass is for shots of liquor. They're anywhere from about an ounce and a half to 3 ounces, and those are for shots that are meant to be sipped, like the cordials and liqueurs, sherries, any shot that somebody's going to sip on, like maybe an expensive tequila as opposed to a shot of tequila that they're going to down right away. Remember, even if the glass is 3 ounces or bigger, you only pour one serving, so whatever is considered a shot. Then the snifter, also called the brandy snifter, there's a hint there for you. They can be anywhere between 6 and 12 ounces, and I've seen them even bigger. And the uses for the snifter are shots that are meant to be sipped, which would include brandies, cognacs, and any liqueurs if you prefer to put it in the shot glass instead of the cordial glass, or if you don't have a cordial glass. I would recommend in a crowded bar, if somebody's walking around, give them the snifter so there's going to be less chance of spilling. And I want to make a note here, even though the glass holds 6 to 12 ounces, you still only pour one shot of liquor. And if you want to lay the glass on its side and pour the liquor in, once it reaches to the point where it would start spilling out, that should be a shot. So you don't even have to measure it. Then we have a footed goblet. Not hugely common. Maybe in a nice restaurant they'll use them for water. They're about 7 to 10 ounces. You can use them for your fancier cocktails. The Singapore slings, all of the sours, the whiskey sour, amaretto sour, Midori sour, and cocktails where you want to put less mixer if it's smaller than the 10 ounce. Any of the drinks with cream, so drinks that have sweet and sour, cream, or any mixer that you wouldn't drink by itself, you want to use less of that. So the footed goblet's a good glass if it's smaller than 10 ounces to use. So basically you just fill the glass with ice and pour in the ingredients and fill it to the almost to the rim. Then the hurricane glass is fun. It's real pretty and shapely. It's between 12 and 16 ounces usually. And it's for our frozen drinks. Think of, a tropical bar, a bar at a beach or at a hotel by the pool. Your frozen drinks like strawberry daiquiris, strawberry margaritas, pina coladas, any tropical drinks, any drink that would get like an umbrella, the Mai Tai, the Hurricane, the Zombie. Perhaps you would put your alcoholic iced teas in that glass. I don't know that guys would want to walk around with the pretty hurricane glass, but I don't think some guys care. Some do, some don't. They seem a little girly. But that's going to be up to management to pick the glass anyway. And so you would just fill the glass up to the curvature of the lip. You don't want to fill it too full because, again, there's spillage. Let's see. Now we have the flute glass, which is usually about 6 ounces. And it's typically used for champagne or sparkling wine, Kir Royales, mimosa, and Bellinis, which are all made with champagne or sparkling wine. So you would pour one serving, which is 5 ounces, about 5 ounces. And if you want to avoid the bubbling and avoid the foaming and the spilling of the cocktail, the drink that you're pouring in there, tilt the glass to the side and let the liquid hit the side of the glass and run down the inside of the glass, and then you can straighten it as you fill it. The tulip glass is the same idea. It's also used for champagne or sparkling wine, Kir Royales, mimosas, and Bellinis, anything with champagne in it. Again, you would pour about 5 ounces is considered a serving, and tilt the glass to the side, let the liquid hit the side of the glass and run down as you pour it so you don't have all the bubbling and spilling. Oh, now we have the so popular martini glass. They can be itsy bitsy 4-ounce glasses, or they can be, get into the really bigger ones, the 12-ounce. I've seen them even bigger than that. 12-ounce glasses are pretty big. And their use is for all of the different variations of the new version of the martini. What I recommend is that you fill the glass with ice and water to chill it before you start pouring the cocktail in, and you can set the glass off to the side while you're making the martini, and then dump the ice water out before you pour the martini into the glass. And keep in mind that these glasses should be filled about 2/3 to 3/4 full. It's really silly to fill it to the top because even if you're sitting, and they are meant to be sipped on while you're seated, not walking around in a crowded bar, you don't want to have spillage. So you're going to spill if you fill it too full because the top of the glass, the rim, is just very wide. Okay, the white wine glass. Those are around 6 to 12 ounces. The uses are for white wines and rosé wines, which are chilled, and the Kir, which is also made with white wine. And the serving is about 5 ounces. I say 4 to 5 ounces, but usually now we're going about 5 ounces. Then the red wine glass, make sure you know the difference between the red wine and the white wine glass. If you work in a bar that has just house wines, you may just have the white wine glass, and you're going to use that for all your wines. But the red wine glass is for your more fancy, expensive red wines, and it's important you use the proper glass because the way it's designed is to let the wine breathe. So with red wine, it needs to have air and breathe a bit to get all the flavor and aroma out. So for red wines, we usually serve them at about 65 degrees. Same idea, you want to pour about 4 to 5 ounces per glass per serving, and just notice that the bowl of it is wider, and usually the opening is too for breathing. Okay, the margarita glass. Those are fun. I love margaritas. Okay, between 8 to 12 ounces, I would say they come in various sizes. And if you notice, the little bowl at the bottom, this little bottom part, is really small, so it gives the illusion of having more liquor, a bigger cocktail. And those are good for margaritas. That's really the only thing that we usually use those for. And our other instructor, Kyle, he's just the expert on all this stuff. He says it's also called a coupette. So you can refer to it that, but most people will call it a margarita glass. And you just want to fill it to the rim, but leave room if you've put salt on the rim of the glass, leave room so the salt doesn't go down in the drink. Okay, the pint glass is 16 ounces. If we had a 14-ounce glass, it would just have to call it a beer glass. We couldn't call it a pint glass because that would be misleading, because it wouldn't be a pint, because a pint is 16 ounces. So the pint glass is your plain glass that's usually for bottled beers or tap beers. We could use it for sodas. The alcoholic teas, if we're going to make them stronger than the ounce and a half, which they usually are, and then priced accordingly. And with those, if you're pouring beer into it, you want to tilt the glass to the side just like you did with champagne or sparkling wine. Let the liquid hit the side of the glass and run down, and then you can straighten it as you fill it, and that's again so you avoid all the foaming and bubbling. You don't have spillage. If you're adding a cocktail or a soda, and you're filling the glass with ice, you can just fill it up to the rim. And then the Pilsner glass is a more fancy beer glass. There's many, many different variations of beer glasses, but we're just going to talk about the basic ones right now. So the Pilsner glass is for beers, and you want to tilt it to the side also when you pour the beer in. So you could use it for either tap beer or bottled beer too. So it's really important to have the proper size of glassware according to the size of shot that you're pouring. So your management should have planned for that already. Just be aware of that. You need to know, the proper